حسین پہ سجدہ ہو آخری، ایسا در حسین پہ سجدہ ہو آخری، پھر مجھ کو اپنا سر نہ اٹھانا نصیب ہو، کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. سب بڑے مل سے گئے. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. پروردگار ٹھوکریں در در کی کب تلک، کب پروردگار ٹھوکریں در در کی کب تلک، اب مستقل نجات میں ٹھکانا نصیب ہو، پر کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. جیسا ملا نصیب سے ام البنین کو، جیسا ملا نصیب سے ام البنین کو، اب کیا کسی کو ایسا گھرانا نصیب ہو، پر کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. جی چاہتا ہے سامنے بیٹھے ہو پنجتن، جی چاہتا ہے سامنے بیٹھے ہو پنجتن، ان کی ثنا انہی کو سنانا، انہی کو سنانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سب بڑے جانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. آنکھوں کو جب اشک بہانا نصیب ہو، آنکھوں کو جب اشک بہانا نصیب ہو، آل نبی کے غم کا بہانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. کرب و بلا نصیب سے جانا نصیب ہو. محشر یہ آرزو ہے کہ بے غسل و بے کفن، محشر یہ آرزو ہے کہ بے غسل و بے کفن، کرب و بلا کی تہ میں سمانا نصیب ہو.
ہیں کہ صحت و سلامتی کے لیے ایک اور بار آواز بلند صلوات. غریبوں کا رکھنے بھرم غریب الغربا آ گئے. غریبوں کا رکھنے بھرم غریب الغربا آ گئے. شہنشاہ عرب و عجم مولا رضا آ گئے. آپ سب کو ایک بار پھر ظہور امام علی رضا بہت مبارک ہو. اور اسی میں اب ہم کامرہ زدی صاحب سے گزارش کریں گے کہ وہ آئیں بارگاہ امام میں اپنا نذرانہ عقیدت پیش کریں. برادر کی استقبال کے لیے بہت بار پھر آواز سے بلند صلوات.
تمام مومنین کو مولا رضا کی ولادت کا سال بہت بہت مبارک ہو. ایک روایت کی چند اشعار اور اس کے بعد
کہتے ہیں مجھ کو لوگ سناگر رضا کا ہے. کہتے ہیں مجھ کو لوگ سناگر رضا کا ہے. احسان مجھ پہ یہ بھی سراسر رضا کا ہے. امن و امان کی بھیک گر چاہتے ہو تم مگر. امن و امان کی بھیک گر چاہتے ہو تم مگر. آؤ یہاں سے مانگ لو یہ در رضا کا ہے. کہتے ہیں مجھ کو لوگ سناگر رضا کا ہے. سروت پڑھیں محمد مولا رضا کی شان میں ایک مرتبہ یا امام رضا 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 یا امام رضا. ہر نفس ہر گھڑی میرے دل سے یہی آ رہی ہے صدا. یا امام رضا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا. تیری عظمت پہ بھلا کیوں نہ دلالت بنتا. تیری عظمت پہ بھلا کیوں نہ دلالت بنتا. شیر قالین کا کس طرح نہ زندہ ہوتا. ہے حقیقت یہی تیری مرضی میں ہی ہے خدا کی رضا. یا امام رضا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا. غیر ممکن کو یوں ہوتے ہوئے دیکھا ممکن. جاگتی آنکھوں سے جنت میں گزارے کئی دن. اس کو کیا ہو یقین جس نے دیکھا نہیں کبھی روضہ تیرا. یا امام رضا 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 یا امام رضا. کیسے سمجھے گا زمانہ تیرے نوکر کی حدیں. تیرے معروف نے باندھی ہے سمندر کی حدیں. بڑے طوفان کا رخ بدلتا گیا اس نے جب دی صدا. یا امام رضا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا.
رحمت تیری بجتی رہتی ہے میرے سینے میں نوبت تیری بات ثابت ہوئی میرے سینے میں بھی ایک حرم ہے تیرا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا. یہ دو شعر حاجت سے ہے تو میں کہوں گا سب آپ جو بھی آپ کے دلوں میں حاجات ہے امام رضا صاحب کی ولادت ہے آپ ان سے مانگے حلان مشکلات ہیں آپ لوگوں کی مشکلوں کو دور کریں گے. میری اس وقت تیرے در پہ نظر ہے مولا اور تجھے میری مصیبت کی خبر ہے مولا دور افتاد کر میری امداد کر تو ہے مشکل کشا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا یا امام رضا. التجا آپ سے کرتا ہوں امام ہشتم ان کے صدقے میں جنہیں کہتے ہیں معصوم تم جو پریشان ہیں جلد کر دیجیے ان کی حاجت رواں یا امام رضا 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 یا امام رضا.
ایک اور آواز بلند صلوات آمد ہے جہاں میں مولا رضا کی دھوم ہے آسمان میں مولا رضا کی معطر ہے فضا کھلا ہوا ہے ہر چہرہ بدحت ہے ہر زباں میں مولا رضا. اب ہم اسی سے خارج کریں گے برادر دانش آپ کی سے کہ وہ آئیں اور اپنی منفرد کے ذریعے اس محفل کو پروان کریں. دانش کی صحت و سلامتی لے ایک اور آواز بلند صلوات
ایک دعائیہ کلام ہے آپ لوگوں کی سماعت کی نظر کر رہا ہوں شروع کریے گا محمد وعد محمد
المدد مولا رضا 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 المدد مولا رضا. نانا نبی بابا علی نانا نبی بابا علی دادی تیری خیر النساء المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا. زائر یہاں جو آئے گا وہ کربلا بھی جائے گا مولا حسین ابن علی کے ساتھ جنت جائے گا. بھولنا تا زندگی ہاں بھولنا تا زندگی تیرے حرم کا راستہ المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا. مسکن تیرا مولا رضا عرش اولا سے کم نہیں کہتا رہوں گا عمر بھر مجھ کو کوئی بھی غم نہیں کم نہیں جنت کے کھانوں کم نہیں جنت کے کھانوں سے مولا لنگر تیرا المدد مولا رضا عزم حسینی جرت سجاد تو باب الحوائج موسیٰ کاظم کی مولا اولاد تو حل کرو مشکل کو میری حل کرو مشکل کو میری ہے بہن کا واسطہ المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا کرتے رہیں گے عمر بھر ماتم مولا شبیر کا کرتے رہیں گے عمر بھر ماتم مولا شبیر کا اور شام جا کر پرسہ دے ہم زینب دلگیر کا اور نہیں کچھ مانگتا اور نہیں کچھ مانگتا اس کے سوا منگتا تیرا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا المدد مولا رضا محمد محمد صلوات
Another loud salawat for the health and prosperity of Brother Danish. One more quote of Imam Ali alayhi salam before we head out to Qur'an's lecture. The Imam was asked, what is the proof of Allah upon mankind today? To which he replied, the intellect. By it one knows who is true to Allah, so one follows him. And by it one knows who is dishonest to Allah, so one dismisses him. The man then said, by Allah, this is the answer. Now without further ado, I'd like to welcome Honorable Qibla Haider Shirazi to come forward for his speech and question answer session. Please help me welcome Qibla by a loud Maula Ali.
وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ من الله. اللهم كن وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توغى وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you all for giving this opportunity to serve. And may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala make this majlis of ours a majlis of noor, a majlis of ma'rifah, a majlis that remains an asset of ours in our graves, inshaAllah. All those who have requested for du'as, all those who have requested for their hajat, they are numerous, many are ill, for their well-being, many have departed for their higher and elevated ranks in the hereafter, for their forgiveness, for what all you all want from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala be bestowed upon us, and that is by this Imam Ra'uf, the kind Imam, the merciful Imam, Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi salatu wassalam. Also, I'd like to dedicate this majlis, the ajr, the sawab that is going to be to my father who is critically ill, And yesterday I was flying in from Tehran, stopping in London for a connection, and found out that his health has deteriorated. I wanted to cancel this route here and return to Tehran. Spoke to him. He said no. Says that the commitment you have, wajib to honor. I am secondary. Go whatever wa'da you had, that wafa has to be done. So if I'm here, it's because of his command and also that commitment that was. And inshallah, Allah Ta'ala, by the kind Imam, grants shifa to everyone and everyone who has requested for their hajat.
Ameen.
اللهم صل على علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى الإمام التقي النقي. All those who find no way outlet are the Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam. And no one has this beautiful outlet but the Shias, the followers of the Ahlulbayt, and those who are connected to Rasulullah and the Muhammadan Islam. There is this website which belongs to the Imam alayhi salam. It's called razavi.ir, razavi.ir. And there are numerous incidents, all these karamats that take place in the sacred shrine of the Imam. They have been listed over there, and those who live in Mashhad in Khurasan, for them it's nothing new because they see everything day in, day out. One of the incidents that has been reported over there on that website, and it is beautiful that how people they find an outlet in all these dead ends, especially the youth. And we also have to train ourselves, teach ourselves that the first thing that comes to our mind should be the Imams, should be the Ahlulbayt, no matter what, not a hire and fire situation or the policy that one could have. No, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether we are in pain, whether we are happy, we must go to the Imam alayhi salam. Generally people, when they are stuck, when they find no outlet, they go to the Imams, and when they are well off, they just forget. That is bad. Although it's better than nothing. What we have to train is that even if we are happy and a joy does come to us, we share that joy with the Imam first. With the Imam first, our living Imam first. That, Imam, I got happy today and I want to share that joy with you. Not only we come to him with all those problems and pains and griefs and agony. That is bad. But listen to myself first. Now on that website, there says that a man, very filthy rich, very rich, and he has his only son. Now the son, he fell in love with one of the girls in Europe and wants to get married to her. Father says that we can't. Now the culture we are in and what she is in, the background she has, the background we have, we will not be a good match. And you are my only son. And I can't let you go there to Europe. I want you to listen to me, the best of girls here in Iran, I'll marry you to her. Find someone here. He says, no, I want that one and no one else. And it comes, these situations are quite a lot nowadays. Now the father has a tawassul with Imam alayhi salam, and it so happens that they come to Mashhad. And it was the day when they were cleaning, dusting the sacred grave of Imam alayhi salam, and on that day the haram is closed. Only just the few VIPs who are allowed to be in the haram are there. Now the hotel where he was residing, this rich father, the manager, he comes and says that I got a ticket. If you want, you can go and be there while they are dusting the pure grave of the Imam. He says, give me 2 tickets. He said, I've got just one. He says, get one more. So he gets those 2 tickets, and the father and the son, they come there, they have a tawassul. And the father is praying that his son, he fixes himself, reboots himself, and forgets that girl in Europe. Now once they were dusting the grave of the Imam alayhi salam, father, he says to those who are inside the darih, that give me a little bit of that dust, of that grave, as tabarruk. He said, now the person, those inside the zari, they want to give that dust, but they can't give that dust with their 2 fingers, because the distance between the first zari and second It's quite a lot. So he picks up a little note from that zari. All that money was there. There was a little piece of paper. Picks up that paper, puts that dust in that note, in that paper, and that dust in the paper, rolls it like a toffee, like a candy, and gives it to the father. Take it. He takes that dust and gives it to his son, says, keep this with you. Now all that tawassul the dad has, and the son is still adamant that he wants to get married to that girl. Now when he comes home to his hotel, to his room, there says, let me see what is this dust. Opens that little piece of paper, and there is a note written on that paper in which that dust was rolled. That is a note written by a girl to the Imam alayhi salam. On that note says that I am young, getting old, because my dad is so poor, and the job he has, he's a sweeper, sweeps the streets in the municipality there. And because of his job, no one comes to get my hand, no one comes to marry me. Imam, you help me. All these days I've been chaste, I've been pious, and this shahwat that is given to me is also there, and I control myself. From now on, if anything goes wrong, it's not my fault. You help me, Ya Ibn Rasulullah. Now the son, he sees this note, says to his father that I want to get married to this girl. Father says, you haven't seen her, we don't know her, we don't know who they are. He says, whatever he is, you search, you find, and I want to get married to her. They come and they trace, because she had written her name, her last name, they trace that father, come to her house, and they live in a very poor area. And this long limousine comes in their streets, something new. When he knocks at the door, says that, have you come from the television, or do you want to interview me? He says, no television, no interview. We've come to propose your daughter. Have you seen her? No, we haven't. Then how come without seeing her? The son wants to marry her. A very poor living, they come there, and then he asks, that how did she ask, after getting married, without any more investigation, says, how did you get to know me, and how come you came to me? Says, this is that note that you had written to the Imam alayhi salam. The beauty of the Shias are the Imams, they are alive. We believe that Imam, may he be in the grave or may he be alive, they are alive. And when we go to the ziyarat of Ma'asumeen, there we say that, Ashhadu annaka tasma'u kalami. That is, I bear witness that you listen to me. وَتَرُدُّ salami, and the salam that I send to you, you return and you respond to my salam. That is our aqidah. With this beauty and these imams that we have, there is no dead end for the Shias. There is no way to get sad, because we have someone who cares for us, who worries for us, and that is the living Imam that we have today. We don't need to have multiple people worrying for the same thing. Imam, he has taken care of us. So Imam Ali Ithna Ashari alayhi salatu wassalam. Born in Medina on the 11th of Zulqa'dah, 148 after Hijrah, and then Shahadat is on, and then her father is Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam, the 7th Imam. Mother is Najma alayha salam, also known as Samana, Tuktam and Tahira. His name is Ali, and then the title given to him is Rida, someone who is content and pleased with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and the kunya that is given to him is Abu Hassan. At the age of 35, he is the official Imam, and then at the age of 55 is his Shahadat. Is blessed with a son, that is Imam Jawad, the 9th Imam, at the age of 48. Although there are reports that say that there have been more than one child for the Imam, but that what is famous is that he has just one child, and that is Imam Jawad, and at the age of 7 or 8, Imam Jawad is the Imam when Imam's Shahadat takes place, and that is by being poisoned by Ma'mun al-Rashid, La'natullahi alayh. Now the characteristics or the fada'il or the sajaya of the Imam alayhi salam that have been reported, they are said that no one ever met the Imam, but he witnessed and he admitted that Imam is great. Now even among the children of the Imam, Imam Musa bin Ja'far alayhi salam, he has a lot of many sons. He used to say to his sons, one of them is Ishaq bin Musa bin Ja'far. To him, Imam says that Ali, he is the alim of Ahlulbayt. That is alim of Ali Muhammad alayhi salam. It is Imam Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi salam. Now, Shaykh Sadhu, he reports a hadith over here and he says that I never saw Abu Hassan al-Rida interrupt any conversation with anyone. I never saw anyone come to this door to Ali ibn Musa Rida and he be left stranded or be just turned away. No one was ever turned away from the Imam alayhi salam. Even Shaykh Bahai, one of the greatest of the ulama of the Shia world, whose grave is in that sacred shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam. And this great alim is one of those personalities who is great in fiqh, in usul, in mathematics, in designing, in engineering, in civil engineering, everything. All these, in sha'r, in adab, he is one of those beautiful personalities. When the Haram was being renovated and he had designed the entire shrine, and then he says that these doors should be designed as such, and he had to leave Khurasan to Isfahan for a task. Says to all these masons, to all these carpenters, that these doors must not be installed until I return from Isfahan. It so happens that Imam comes in the dream of all of this team who are working for the sacred shrine and says that install the doors of the Haram. Now the team, they say that, but the instructions that were given by Shaykh Bahai were that we shouldn't install until he returns. Here they say that, but the command of the Imam, not to just one person, the entire team, they saw this vision, they saw this dream, that Imam has instructed the doors be put up. They installed the doors, and Shaykh Bahai, when he returns, he is furious, says that, did I not tell you not to install the doors? Says, but this is what had happened, Imam, not to just one of us, to all of us. He said, doors must be installed. Now why was it that he didn't want the doors to be installed? And Imam says, doors must be installed. He comes by the zari of the Imam, starts pleading and crying, says, what went wrong, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, Ya Imam, that I wanted that door not to be installed until I return. Shaykh Bahai, among the beauties that he has got the science of these special du'as. He had written a tillesm that he wanted to install on the main entrances of the Haram, that only those who love the Imam enter the Haram and those who don't, they don't. Imam says, you can't do that. This door of mine is open for everyone. Whether he be faithful, whether he be faithless, everyone is welcome to come, and these doors of Ahlulbayt, they are open to all. No one can hinder, no one can deny that access to us, the Ahlulbayt.
Muhammad wa ala Muhammad bulantar salawat.
Imam, he never stretched his legs in the presence of others. Imam, he says, I never saw him swear at his servants or his slaves. Because he was the crown prince, as Ma'mun La'natullahi alayhi had made him the crown prince, being that living in those luxury lifestyle. And when the food was laid, it wasn't an ordinary food, it was the best of food that was prepared. Now Imam, when the food was laid, invites all these slaves and maids and says that they be seated on that table, and then Imam also sits on that table. The best of the food from that table is put away. And when they ask that, Imam, what are you doing? He says that in the Qiyamah, in the hereafter, there are these heights. And one will not be able to cross and pass those heights, but that he has, and that he has given zakat and he has helped out others. And then Imam used to recite, فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَةِ Aqaba means those heights, that is, those heights one may not be able to cross, but that he has given something as charity. So the best of food, Imam, he puts away as sadaqah, gives it to those who are in need, although on that table also, it's all those needy, those poor who are present. So that is that Imam Ra'uf, Imam Rida alayhi salam. He never smiled, he never laughed loud, he only smiled. Now, the other beauty of the Imam is that he slept little at night, always occupied in worship. In summer he used to sit on hasir, on these mats made of leaves. And then in winter he used to sit on these rugs that were made with wool. That is that simple dwelling of the Imam alayhi salam. Now, the topic that I have for tonight regarding the Imam alayhi salatu was salam. Now, karamat are numerous, and inshallah if I get time I'll just mention one more, and that is regarding the ziyarat to Ma'asumeen. We have to pay a visit to the Ma'asumeen as much as it is possible, because Ma'asumeen, whatever you give to them, they never hold on to it. They just pay it back to you. You say salam to them, they return to your salam. You pay a visit to them, they pay that visit back to you when we are in need. Marhum Ayatullah Uzma Shahabuddin Marashi Najafi, one of the great Maraji who passed away in 1998. And among the ulama of that time is Marhum Sheikh Murtaza Ha'iri. He is the son of the founder of the Hawza Ilmiya of Qom, Marhum Abdul Karim Ha'iri. And among those personalities for whom Marhum Imam Khomeini, he used to say that he's not a human being, he's among those who are the angels on earth. At times they used to say that when is he Adil or not, says what do you say Adil? He is among those who has entered the zone of ismat, of infallibility. Such a pious person. He passed away. Marhum Ayatullah Marashi Najafi, he says that a few days passed, and then I said, let me have a tawassul and get hold of him in Barzakh, where he is, how he departed, and all these things, they are possible. Even if you look into Mafatihul Jinan, if you want to get access to some strange sciences and ulum, it is possible. One of the ways is by reciting Surat Zalzala, Idha Zulzilatil Ardu Zilzalaha, recite that a few times. One of the riwayat says that before you go to bed, recite that 7 times, and then you will see all these wonders that you were after. Now, these are things that are possible. Ayatollah Marashi Najafi, he says that after his demise, I also, like everyone else, offered that Salatul Wahsha, and then I said, have an access and see where he is. Saw him in Barzakh. A very lofty position he has been given in that Barzakh. And then I asked him how he departed. Says, very easy, and my departure from this dunya was just like changing clothes, how we just change our clothes and put the dirty clothes away. Says that was how easy it was to depart from this dunya. We do have riwayat that Ma'asumeen say that when someone departs, death is like that, just like changing clothes. There's nothing to be so scared of, especially the mu'mineen. Mu'mineen, A'imma, they have special access, they have special inayat, special bestowals upon the mu'mineen. Now he says that I saw him sitting over there in that barzakh and was relaxed and eased. Says I departed from this dunya. And then I saw him, he says that I started to worry. In that never-ending land, there is no nihayat to it, there is no end to it. I saw 2 beings come towards me like 2 balls of fire. And I got scared, I panicked that what are they going to come and do to me? He says that, Ya Allah, you help me. And I sought refuge in the Ma'asumeen, and suddenly I see that there is a noor that comes towards me, and that noor, the closer it comes to me, I see those 2 balls of fire that are coming towards me, they go away. That zulmat, that nar is away from me, this noor is closer to me, and then I ask him, who are you? Says, I am Ali ibn Musa Rida. Now the beauty of this Sheikh Murtaza Ha'iri, was that whenever he used to get a day off in Qom, from the Hawza, or a few days off, he used to travel to Mashhad to pay a visit to the Imam. And traveling in those days wasn't like today, it wasn't easy. Even in 1980s, 90s, it wasn't easy. Traveling from home to Mashhad took a day on the buses, the roads were not good. And then when he used to travel, many a times there were no seats in the bus. He used to take a bucket with them, turn the bucket upside down, sit on the bucket for 24 hours until he reached Mashhad. As he grew old, his sons, they used to say that, Father, you've paid so many visits to the Imam, and you can say that salam from whom it gets to the Imam. He says that what I'm doing, let me do. And then he continues with his habit until he dies. Now here, Ayatollah Barashi Najafi says that Imam said to him, you paid so many visits to me whilst you were alive, and it is wajib on me that I pay visits to you. To his son says that, what do you say, all these visitations to the Imam, what happened to them? Says, more than the visitations I paid to the Imam, Imam has visited me in these few days that I have arrived in Barzakh. So Ma'asumeen, they are great. Nothing is lost in the, when it comes to Ma'asumeen, all these services, these majalis that are held, that mu'mineen, they get together, they remember the Ma'asumeen, all this is great. And any kind of association with the Ma'asumeen is that bonding of ours that we recite in all of these different ahadith, that Shi'atuna قد خلقوا من فاضل تينتنا وعجنوا بنور الولاية. That our Shias, they've been made with the leftover clay with which Ma'asumeen were created. And that clay was mixed with the Noor of Wilayat. So on occasions like what we are today, being the birth of the Imam, when you are happy, it's because Imam is happy. On Ashura, when we are sad, and even if anyone hasn't recited anything, you just look at those black banners, you burst into tears. The reason is that creation of ours is that same clay with which Ma'asumeen alayhi salam were created. Says, بدعة مني بخراسان. Part of me will be buried in Khurasan. ما زارها مكروب إلا نفس الله عز وجل كربه. Says, whosoever is aggrieved, whosoever has pain, has grief, has agony, says, you pay a visit to me, Allah will remove all that grief of yours when you come to Him. ولا مذنب إلا غفر الله له ذنوبه. And that is, even if you were a sinner, if a person was a sinner, all that wrong that was done, just coming to the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam means purification, means cleansing from the wrong that we had done. So that is as a result of this bonding with the Imam alayhi salam. So we have numerous riwayat. One of the other riwayat is from our sixth Imam, says that تُقْتَلُ حَفَدَتِي بِعَرْضِ خُرَاسَانِ. That is, part of my family will be killed in Khurasan, في مدينة يقال لها طوس, in a city which is named Tus. Tus is this Khurasan, Mashhad. Mashhad today, it was called Mashhad after the Shahadat of the Imam alayhi salam. Prior to that, it wasn't known as Mashhad. It was Khurasan, it was. And then says, Man zaraha ilayha arifan bihaqqih. Whosoever pays a visit to the Imam, knowing his rights, says, أخذته بيدي يوم القيامة وأدخلته الجنة. Imam says, I will hold him with my hand, and I will take him and make him enter the heaven. Whosoever pays a visit to the Imam. من زارها وبات عنده ليلة كان كمن زار الله في عرشه. Says, someone pays a visit to the Imam, stays there at night, one night, says it is as if he has visited Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, where? At the Arsh, throne of Allah Jalla wa Ala. And then Imam says, I guarantee لمن زار قبر أبي بطوس عارفا بحقه. That is, I guarantee whosoever pays a visit to my father in Tus, عارفا بحقه الجنة على الله. That is, I guarantee the heaven will be given to him. That is the statement of Ma'asumeen, and it is our aqidah that the words of Ma'asumeen are like the ayat of Quran, and Imam, he never lies. whatever Imam says is the truth. So all these beautiful riwayat that we have regarding paying this ziyarat to the Imam, and then he comes and itemizes this riwayat and says that I will help him out min ahwaliha, that is from the horrors of the barzakh. On 3 stations and in the Qiyamah I will help him. Says one, it's the horror that you will see on the Day of Judgment. Look into Quran, there says, it talks about the devastations and the worry, the horror of the days. It's such scary that a mother to whom the infant, the baby is the dearest, she will drop her load, she will forget her child. So much so, in another riwayah there says that Prophet Ibrahim, to him his son Ismail is the dearest, was blessed at the age of 100 years old. And then to her father being blessed with a son, and that son will be so dear to him. This Ibrahim, when he sees the horror of the Day of Judgment, says, Ilahi, Rabbi, Nafsi, Nafsi. God, have mercy on me first. Ana Khaliluka, Irhamni. Have mercy on me, I am your beloved Khalil. So the horror is such. On a day of horror, that is the Day of Judgment, Imam says, someone who pays a visit to Imam Rida alayhi salam, we will be there to help him out. Then when the books will be given in your right and your left hands, we will be there to help. And on the sirat and by the mizan, we will definitely, and we guarantee that our support will be there to you. That is a result of visitation and paying a visit to the Imam alayhi salam. Now, the sirat of the Imam, that is the 8th Imam, first of all we see that Imam, when it comes to worship and servitude, not just the 8th Imam, all of the Imams, they gave particular importance to salat, to zakat, to worship, to jihad, to hajj, to all of these ahkam. It wasn't as such that we just love you, the Imam, with nothing to do with any part of the deen. That is fake love. And that fake love will do us no good. Says Quran that in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni yuhibbukum Allah. If your claim is that you love Allah, Allah says, be obedient to me. Yuhibbukum Allah, Allah will also love you. So just loving the Ahlulbayt without any actions, without any amal, it's fake. And it's dangerous also. And it is not guaranteed that if I have that, God forbid, a love without any actions, whether it's going to be beneficial or not. Because at the time of death, at certain occasions, if shaitan, he comes and attacks. One of them is when we stand in salat. One of those occasions when he comes and attacks, it's when we are giving away our life. There, if he wins, we are lost. Nothing will remain. And what will protect us are the amal, are the actions. There has to be salat, there has to be zakat, there has to be hijab, there has to be worship, there has to be obedience. Only then will all of them benefit. If there is nothing in our life and we say it's just love the Ahlulbayt, that love also Quran says will do no good because there is no ittiba, there is no obedience in that love. Now I'll go to a hadith over here that are many who say that we are with the Imam. But in reality, that is not true. In Quran also we've got the same thing. I quote a hadith over here from Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Because we claim that we are the followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Imam says, أَحَبُّ الْعِبَادِ إِلَى اللَّهِ الْمُتَأَسِّي بِنَبِيِّهِ. The best of servants before Allah is someone who is most obedient to Rasulullah. Most obedient. If someone is not obedient to Rasulullah or less obedient to Rasulullah, the amount of that disobedience he has towards Rasulullah means animosity towards Rasulullah, towards hate towards Rasulullah. It isn't as such that if I, from this deen that we have, usul is there, usul al-deen are there, furu al-deen are there, akhlaqiyat are there. If I don't practice part of those furu, if I don't practice part of those akhlaqiyat, means that I've stood against Rasulullah in those few things that I don't practice. Means that that animosity is there. Says, Ahabbul ibad, the best of servants are those who are most obedient to Rasulullah. Even in Quran, with the story of Prophet Nuh, when that storm started to rise, when everything was sinking, everything was drowning, Prophet Nuh says, God, innahu min ahli, that is, this is my son, O God. Allah has strong statements over there, says that Ya Nuh, innahu laysa min ahlik. Says Nuh, he is not your son. Son or a father doesn't mean that biological relationship, no. I'll quote you another hadith, inshallah, towards the end of this session. There, Imam says that if a connection is there between a father and a son, it is because of that obedience to Allah Ta'ala. So here the son of Prophet Nuh is not his son. Innahu laysa min ahlik. Why? Because he is disobedient to his father, disobedient to the command of God. In a riwayah here, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, Imam says people are of three types. First of all, says that firqatun ahabbuna, there are people who love us. انتظار قائمنا ليصيبوا من دنيانا فقالوا وحفظوا كلامنا وقصروا عن فعلنا. There are people who wait for the Imam, that is the 12th Imam that we are waiting for. Why do they wait for the Imam, or those who are after the A'immah? Why? Because they want to get to this dunya, but then they have shortfalls in their actions. Love is there. There is a shortfall in the actions, although their claim is that we love the Imams alayhi salam. And for them, Imam says that فَسَيَحْشُرُهُمُ اللَّهُ إِلَى النَّارِ, that Allah will raise them in the fire because of that lack of actions, because of they are not there. Then Imam says the second category, فِرْقَةٌ أَحَبُّونَ, there is a category who love us. سَمِعُوا كَلَامَنَا, they heard what we say. وَلَمْ يَقْصِرُوا عَنْ فِعْلِنَا, and whatever the actions are, they didn't even, they performed them, they were not shortfalls in their actions, but whatever they did, they used our name for themselves to promote. That is, they made us a means of their sustenance. And this love that we have towards the Ahlulbayt, usko dukaan bana diya tha, apne liye dukandari bana di thi. Says that for these people, Allah will afflict them with thirst and hunger, and that punishment, their bellies will be filled with fire. Then the third category, that for them Imam says, firqatun ahabbuna, there is a group of people who love us, and they honor our statements, our words, walam yukhalifu fi'lana, and whatever the actions were of us, they never stood against those actions. فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَنَا وَنَحْنُ مِنْهُمْ, they are with us and we are with them. So obedience comes first. With love there has to be obedience, and that is exactly what Quran says, that with love and without actions means devastation. So love and action, the two have to be together, and that is that word of Allah Ta'ala, and someone who is like that, he will be saved in the hereafter. Now it is the seerah of the Imam alayhi salam. Now Imam says that because it's the word of the Imam, and Imam gives particular importance to servitude, to worship. Imam says, if you want to save yourself from the horror, from the fire, from the azab, from the devastations in the grave, says, offer and perform the night prayers, that is the Salatul Layl, Namaz al-Shab. You offer them, you will be saved. So with prayers, a person, he is saved, and here Imam gives particular importance to these prayers. And then says, as a result of this importance that you will give to the night prayers, Allah will give you sustenance and rizq in abundance, your ma'ishat, your day-to-day livelihood, it will expand. Now Imam, when he is summoned by this Ma'mun, la'natullahi alayhi, to Medina, this journey from Medina to Khurasan, it took very long, and the historians, they have mentioned, it wasn't an ordinary trip. Now Imam, because this Ma'mun, he wanted to make Imam the crown prince, The person in charge of this caravan bringing the Imam from Medina to Khurasan, he says that whatever Imam says, he has the free hand. If he wants to stop for as long as he wants, he can stop. And whoever he wants to meet, he can meet. If there are funerals he wants to participate and conduct, he can be with them. And whatever Imam wants to do, he is free to perform in this trip from Medina to Khurasan. And it took a long time. Now in these days that Imam is in journey in his travel to Khurasan, the reporters, they say that for every salat and that on time salat, Imam stopped. Now it wasn't just a salat that he offered. It says salat and a complete salat, and after that, that sajda of shukr also was done 100 times, shukran lillah. And on numerous occasions says that the Imam, he stopped this caravan to recite Quran, not just a few ayat, 10 juz, 1/3 of Quran, that is that many. And he didn't recite this while the caravan was moving. It was stationed and he sat and he recited. The Salatul Layl also he stopped and he offered that Salatul Layl. So all that importance was given by the Imam to this worship, to this prayer, although he was traveling. And then says, Imam says that there are 3 things that are hidden in 3 things. What are they? إِنَّ اللَّهَ أَمَرَ بِثَلَاثَةٍ مَقْرُونٌ بِهَا ثَلَاثَةٌ أُخْرَى. Allah has placed 3 in 3. What are they? أَمَرَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ. Allah, He instructed, commanded you to pray and to pay zakat. So it's not either of us or either of the two, it's both of the two, salat and zakat together. فَمَنْ صَلَّى وَلَمْ يُزَكِّي لَمْ تُقْبَلْ مِنْهُ صَلَاتُهُ. Says if someone offers his prayers and doesn't pay zakat, his salat also will not be accepted. And then says that وَأَمَرَ بِالشُّكْرِ لَهُ وَلِلْوَالِدَيْنِ. The second thing that Allah has placed is gratitude to Allah. You thank Allah and you are disobedient to your parents and you don't thank your parents, it is as if we haven't thanked Allah Ta'ala. Says وَأَمَرَ بِالشُّكْرِ لَهُ وَلِلْوَالِدَيْنِ. And this is something which we see in Quran also, that Allah تُشْرِكُ بِي شَبِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. That is, Allah says that you have no shirk, and at the same time وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. That the command that Allah has that you should not be performing any shirk, He has raised it so high that the respect to the parents is with that same command. That is, no shirk to me, respect to parents in that same one command. And then says, فَمَنْ لَمْ يَشْكُرْ وَالِدَيْهِ. Someone who doesn't thank his parents, لَمْ يَشْكُرْ اللَّهِ, has indeed not thanked Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now among the du'as that we have, may Allah protect our parents, all those who are living, Allah grant them shafa, all those who have departed, Allah elevate their ranks, forgive them. One of the places where du'as they are granted, we do have in riwayat, that says that if the parents they have passed away and you have a hajat, come sit by the graves of the father and the mother and seek your hajat by the graves of your parents. Now all these are teachings. Now when we come to the graves of Ma'asumeen and we get our hajat, it is because Rasulullah has said, Ana wa Aliyun abawa hadhihi al-ummah. I and Ali are the fathers of this nation. So when we come to the graves of Ma'asumeen and our hajat, they are granted because they are the fathers. And a father, when a person comes and has his du'as there, they are granted. And then says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Now the third thing that Imam emphasizes over here, it says that وَأَمَرَ بِاتِّقَاءِ اللَّهِ وَسِلَةِ الرَّحِمِ. Says that you have to be God-wary. And Silatul Rahim means doing good to the relatives also has to be observed. If someone is muttaqi, that is, he is pious, he is God-wary, but he has broken ties with his relative, says neither of the two have been done over here. He is not God-wary, he is not a muttaqi person. فَمَنْ لَمْ يَسِلْ رَحِمَهُ لَمْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ. And one who has broken ties with his relatives, many a times these ties that we break with our siblings, with our relatives, with our elders, with our youngsters, as a result of those broken ties, our hajat, they are not granted. And when it comes to silatul rahim, they say silatul rahim taqi maytat as-su' wa tuhawwin al-hisab. That is, when someone does good to relatives, he will be saved from a bad death, from these tragic deaths that we have nowadays, and even the hisab in the hereafter that will be eased as a result of doing good to the relatives. Now regarding the seerah of the Imam alayhi salam, among the ahkam we have wajib, we have mustahab, we have makruh, we have mubah, haram. These are the ahkam that we have. Now it's only the wajib and the haram that will be mentioned, because mustahab, if someone does, he will be rewarded. Makruh also, if someone commits, he will not be punished. Mubah is something, it's entirely up to him whether he does or whether he doesn't. But wajib, if someone does not do, he will be punished. Haram, if someone does commit, he will be punished. So these are the ahkam that we have. Imam says that someone who has not performed a mustahab will not be punished. Says, أَوْرَعُ النَّاسِ مَنْ وَقَفَ عِنْدَ الشُّبْهَةِ وَأَعْبَدُ النَّاسِ مَنْ أَقَامَ الْفَرَائِضِ. If you want to know that, who is the most pious person, Imam says, see how much of a wajib he establishes, he installs. If you see that someone is taking care of his wajibat, means he is pious. Pious doesn't mean that has nothing to do with anything, just sitting in the corner in a mosque and then offering his own prayers. No, that is not regarded, that is something which is irrelevant even during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. That ayah, when it was revealed, مَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ, whosoever is God-wary, Allah is sufficient for him. The ashab of Rasulullah, they abandoned everything and they went and sat in the mosques worshipping and fasting. Rasulullah comes that it's time, for example, 9 to 5, and 9 to 5 they should have been at work. How come they are at the mosque? Comes and inquires, what type of people are you? Who are you? They say that we heard this ayah has been revealed, and whosoever is God-wary, Allah is sufficient for him. So we came and sat in the mosque and Allah will supply all our rizq and nourishments. Rasulullah says, Antumul mutawakki'un, you guys are a burden on the community, not among those who rely upon Allah. Relying upon Allah doesn't mean that you do nothing. You have to work. You have to work hard, and your heart and your soul rests on Allah and He provides. Not that we don't do anything. Likewise, Imam over here says that A'bud al-nas, that is the most worshipping or the most muttaqi or the most pious among the men are those who keep up, who install the fara'id, the wajibat. So the veriest of men is one who establishes the wajibat, the duties. And the most pious of men is one who refrains from all that what is forbidden. Whatever he has said, haram is haram. مَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. That's the ayah of Quran, that whatever Rasulullah has asked you to do, you do it. Whatever Rasulullah says, don't do, you don't do it. That is the entire deen that we have. And what we say as halalu Muhammadin, halalu ila yawm al-qiyamah, it's the same thing. Whatever he has made halal, it's halal until the day of judgment. Whatever he has said haram, it is haram until the day of judgment. Sometimes these kids, they come up, youth, they come up and say that now the situation, the time that we are living in, it should be as such and this rule should be like that. No, nothing changes. If Rasulullah has said ham and pork is najis, it's haram, as if the best of scientists, they come up like they've come up nowadays and they say that it's not the same pig. It's being raised in the farm. So the germs that existed in that pig that wasn't raised in the farm, they don't exist in this one. Even then it is haram. If they come up after a few years and they say that no germs exist in this meat, even then it will be haram. Why? because Rasulullah has said it is najis, it is haram, and it will remain the same until the day of judgment. So the rules of Allah, they don't change. And sometimes people, they think that if we are in a 911 situation and the things, for example, if I was in school, in college, at work, and there wasn't anything to eat, and that what was present before me was just a haram sandwich, and I come up with these equations that, yeah, I'm hungry and I shouldn't be killing myself. Quran says that don't put yourself in danger, eat this sandwich so that you don't die. It doesn't work like that. In these 911 situations, Allah tests us to see how much we are obedient to Him. And all these great personalities who arrived at those high ranks, it's because in those 911 situations they were tested. Now you've heard all about Rajab Ali Khayyat, you've heard about Ibn Sirin, all these personalities, they were just ordinary men. Ibn Sirin was a handsome young guy, 30 years old. He was working at the draper's, and one of these girls, she wanted to somehow trap him, and then comes and buys a lot of clothes from this draper's. And now that she bought that much of cloth, she cannot carry, says to the owner that, send this home, I can't carry, it's too heavy. Now the owner, he says, okay, I'll ask Ibn Sirin, he will bring it to your house. Now she knew that he's going to come, so she prepares herself somehow to trap him and commit that haram. The moment she opens the doors and he walks in with all that cloth, she shuts the door and presents herself before Ibn Sirin for that haram to be done. Now he also was a smart guy. He says, okay, let me prepare myself and I'll come. And in those days, the washrooms were not like the washrooms that we have today. It was the open septic tanks where people, they used to have a room outside in the yard, and all that filth was collected in that yard. He comes and throws himself in that dirt, and then he comes out and she looks at him stinking, says, get out of my house. The moment he was out of the house, there was this downpour of ma'arif on the heart of Ibn Sirin. That is, in that 911 situation, Allah tested him, that he didn't fall in that haram. As a result, Allah gave. So to us also it's the same thing. When there is a haram sandwich, when there is a haram relationship, it was just a shake, a handshake, it was just a kiss, it was just a look, it was just a gaze. It doesn't work that way. I just put away, I don't look at them, I don't shake hands with them, just because Allah says the moment you say no to that haram, that very moment I have offered you so much. That download of ma'arif takes place only in those 911 situations, and no rule of Allah ever changes. If you look into Surah Talaq, ayah 2 and 3, there says, مَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. That is, if you are God-wary, Allah will find you an outlet. يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. He will provide sustenance to you from where you never thought of. This is when we say no to that haram, and when we honor every wajib of ours. I've got loads of examples. One of these girls in Vancouver, she came 16, 17 years of age and says that I'm looking for a job, and the only job I got is one of these fast food chains, and then I have to fry chicken for them. I don't eat, but what do? I'm stuck, I have to make a living. What do? I say, you can't. You can't. She was an obedient girl. She says, okay, if you say I can't, I can't. And I was there in that place for another 2 hours, and she returned. She says, I said no to that employer, and within these 2 hours I got another offer, much better offer, more money, less work, and as a result, it's because of that no that was said to that first haram. So Allah says, and whatever He says, when we say Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim, Allah has spoken the truth. He never lies. So in these 911 situations, when we get all of these benefits, says يَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Now when it comes to deen, we are not allowed to add anything to this deen. Like for example, during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the ayah was revealed, قُلْ Man harrama zinat Allah. That is, there is an adornment, a zinat that Allah has made for every one of us. He wants us to be clean, well dressed, well fragranced, well groomed. That is what Allah wants us. That is zinat that has been given to us. Even Ma'asumin alayhi salam, they observed Imam Mujtaba alayhi salam. He was smart, he was beautiful, he was good looking. Likewise, our sixth Imam, they used to be well dressed. Now here, on an occasion when Imam Mujtaba was well dressed, and someone comes and stops him, says, "Inna fika kibrun." I see a lot of pride in you. Imam says, "What pride do you see in me?" What you see is that honor, that beauty that Allah has given. That's not kibr. Kibr means that insan and man, he has a pride and he boasts. What you see, it's not pride, it's that honor that Allah has given to a mu'min. Now, many people, during the time of Rasulullah, when they saw them, they used to go and seek refuge in caves and do nothing, have nothing to do with this dunya and their livelihood. Then Rasulullah, he comes and says that, "What are you up to?" Says, "We heard that you shouldn't be giving importance to dunya. That's why we have sought refuge in caves. We live in this cave, nothing to do with dunya, no livelihood whatsoever." Then Rasulullah, he has a very lengthy hadith. Part of that hadith is recited when we recite the nikah ceremonies. Then we say, "An-nikahu sunnati." That is, this nikah is the way of life of Rasulullah. And whosoever turns away from this way of the life of Rasulullah, فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي, he is not from me. It's just that one part that is recited. So then Rasulullah says that this livelihood of yours should be like that of Rasulullah. Adornment that Allah has given to you has to be observed. Wajibat shouldn't be twisted. Whatever has been said has to be honored, has to be done. And also these muharramat or these wajibat that we have, they shouldn't be seasonal. That is, I do everything, but when it comes to our wedding, now because it is a wedding, it can be mixed, it can be whatever, and we can have all that haram and music and everything, and also hijab can be put away because it is a wedding. Deen is not seasonal. Deen has to be halalun ila yawm al-qiyamah. Whatever is haram, haramun ila yawm al-qiyamah, until the day of judgment. So sometimes people they say that we'll do everything, but a little bit of haram also will be there. Now that little bit of haram also, if you have a boat and you cut that boat into half, it will sink. You make a little hole in that boat, it will sink. So haram also it works the same way. Whether it's a lot of haram or it's just one haram. That is to ruin ourselves, to devastate ourselves, that one haram also is. And then we have another saying here, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salatu wassalam says that ashaddu az-zunub mastakhaffa bihi sahibuh. Worst of sins are the sins that the doer of the sin, he says that it's little, it's tiny. Imam says that is the biggest sin. Because maybe Allah, he forgives the greater sins, the major sins that we do. But these little sins, he may not forgive. That's why Imam says that is the worst of sins that a person can do. So worship of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam also throughout this caravan that Imam travels all the way from Medina to Khurasan, he gives importance to worship, to salah, gives importance to all these munajat, to recitation of Quran, to tasbih, to on-time prayers. And one of the other occasions here, khums is the right of the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam. A group of people, they came to Imam Rida alayhi salam, and they said that, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, waive this khums from us, remove it, we don't want to pay. Now this is, Imam in reply says, this your wish, it is impossible. Impossible that khums be waived. That is, Imam then says that you portray your love to us with your tongue. You say that we love you, Ya Ibn Rasulullah. But then you don't want to pay that khums, and in action you are contradicting your own claim, that is the love towards the Ahlulbayt. So khums, Imam says, is helping us. From among the Imams, or even the Maraji al-Taqleed that we have today, None of them, they are connected to any hukumat, to any government. They are not fed, they are not nourished from the government. All these houses that have been surviving from these centuries, they are from this khums money that has been the right of the Imam that is given to them, as a result of which the houses, they are surviving, and the support that is got to houses is from the khums. And then Imam says that this khums is an honor that was given to us, the Ahlulbayt, and he repeated this statement 3 times. Says, La naj'al, that we will not. La naj'al, La naj'al, لأحد منكم في حل, that we will not allow any one of you to not pay khums, because that is an honor that Allah has given to us, the Ahlulbayt. Now, in this 3 years that Imam was in Iran, he did not bring his family. That is the only time when his son Imam Jawad alayhi salam comes to Khurasan, is at the time of the Shahadat of the Imam alayhi salam, and there Imam alayhi salam sees his father for the first time in Khurasan. Now, we've got loads of, inshallah we'll continue on another occasion if Allah grants us. May Allah Jalla wa Ala help us being obedient to the Imam alayhi salam, and this love that we have towards the Ma'sumeen alayhi salam never ever be seized away, be taken away from us. May that be here.
So we have actually 10 to 15 minutes for question and answer session. Anyone has any question, they can ask Qibla. So I'm going to pass on the wireless microphone towards the ladies' side. So any sister or any youth has any questions, so they can ask. Muhammad Ali Muhammad Bantar Salawat. Any questions from the Can someone please have a mic from this side if any sister has a question? Any question from here? No question. So just at the time of the beginning of this program, I got a question from one of the youth. She asked me about the question, the status of witness of female during the nikah. Like, can female be a witness of the nikah, or what is the general status of female in witness in Sharia?
Muhammad Ali Muhammad Bulantar Salawat.
Yeah, look, according to the Shia jurisprudence, according to the Shia, we have a witness is not required in nikah, may that be a male or a female. We don't need a witness. In our fiqh, a witness is required in talaq when it comes to a divorce. So if you find someone and you want to marry her, or she wants to marry him, now for her, permission of the father is required if it's her first marriage. And in the case of him, he can, and there is no witness that is needed. But according to the other Sharia, according to the Sunni version, a witness is required in marriage And in talaq, they don't need a witness. But we say that in talaq, 2 witnesses are required. There are some conditions which are quite strong. They should be maintained and observed. Because this wedlock that Allah has created is not easy to break, according to our Sharia. So witness. Now there are other situations where witnesses from the women's side, they are accepted. Now there are different places where the witness is accepted from women just like men. And that itminan has to be there by giving that testimony, may that be to the qazi or whatever that situation is. So Islam does honor the witness and the testimony of women also.
Muhammad Ali Muhammad Bulantar
your detailed explanation on the birth of Imam. So my question is like how we can correlate Imam's life or that era to today, like what is going on in the world today, how we can correlate Imam's time to today's life.
Yeah. Well, the time doesn't matter whether it was 1,400 years ago or whether it's today or whether it's going to be another 1,000 years later. The hukm and the rule of Allah, it stays the same. So then it was the same Imam, it was the same God, it was the same Quran, it was the same rule. People living then, they also abided by the same rules. Now, basically, because this is the fast world that we are living in, and the technology and all this inhiraf and deviation that shaitan has brought forth, that is what makes us think about these issues in a different way. Otherwise, the rules are the same. They don't change, they never change, and they will not change. So, whether it is the time of the Imam then, even now it's the same Imam living in the time of the Imam alayhi salam. So when he returns also, he's going to bring forth the same rules that were mentioned by Rasulullah, that were propagated by the Imam. Imam also, when he comes, he's going to bring the same rules, the same book. There's nothing new that he's going to bring. Yeah, Riwayat, they say that that Imam, he will bring a new religion. Now that new religion is because people, due to lack of performance, and they did not abide by the rules, they had forgotten. Now just look into our own lives. In 1970s, 80s, 60s, now there were things that were being observed by people. That generation, they stopped practicing it. Now the next generation, they become weaker in practicing it. The third generation, then they come into existence, they don't even know that this thing existed then, 30, 40 years ago. Now, for example, take this hijab into consideration, which was being observed by Hindus, by Christians, by everyone. But this Iblis, the shaitan, they came up under this banner of Renaissance, and they put away this cover that was on the woman, they removed it. Now those who came into existence now, maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago, when we tell them this is what was, it's hard for them to believe. Now when the Imam, when he returns, it's all that was forgotten as a result of lack of practice and actions by people, that will be reinstalled by the Imam alayhi salam. If you recall your memories when we recited this dua, iftitah, in the month of Ramadan, towards the end of it, all this has been mentioned. That is all that was forgotten by the people as a result of lack of practice. But take into consideration Turkey. Turkey was a Muslim place. Spain, it was a Muslim land. Now, as a result of this inhiraf and these that took place over there, the whole nation has been overdone. But in reality, they used to be practicing people at some time, but now they are not. So when the Imam comes and teaches the same thing that was taught to them 400-500 years ago, it's for them it's going to be new. That's why Riwayat also say that Imam, when he returns, he actually the Jadid, he will come up with a new religion, although it's the same religion, but because people they had forgotten, they think it is a new religion. So whether it's the time of the Imam then or it's the time of the Imam now, it's the same deen, it's going to be the same teachings of Rasulullah, nothing on top of it, nothing deleted from it.
You know, in the Holy Quran, Allah says that those who are slaves in the way of Allah do not consider them dead in their life. Actually, I was having a discussion with my friend, and the question was, they are like the bomb. Like, for example, okay, they are, Allah is feeding them, they are terrorists. And like our current Imam Husain, so there is the correlation, communication, they pray to Allah, what is their life, what are they doing?
The ayah says, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا. Those who have been slain or killed in the way of Allah, never think that they are dead, they are alive. And رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ, from their Lord, their sustenance and their rizq is provided. As for the Imam, just like you and me, he is alive. So he hasn't died, but he is alive. Just like you and me, that we eat and we drink and we offer our prayers, wajibat being done, all of that to the max is done by the Imam alayhi salam. Not the actions and amal of one random person that we offer. Imam, the entire creation is under his shoulders. The burden of all of that is under the Imam. So when you are hurt, when you are sad, Imam is also sad, so he has to take care of you. When I'm in need and I want help, Imam provides that help. Now the father of a family who has 4 or 5 children at home, parents to look after, and something goes wrong, how much tends he gets and he wants to fix them. Now multiply that by a huge big number, that is the Imam who is Mazloom today, that is who is taking care of everything, all this massacre that is taking place in Yemen. Do you think that Imam is okay with it? He is definitely not. When someone, but then that quote Rasulullah says that if a Muslim from whichever part of this earth he stands and he raises his cry, says, Ya lal Muslimin, O Muslims, help me, and if you don't respond to his cry and you heard him, فَلَيْسَ بِمُسْلِمٍ, you are not a Muslim, then will Imam he not respond to the cry and call of that Muslim who has raised his cry? Definitely. So the burden on the Imam today is a lot. Help that is being given to the Imam today, it's very little. The reason why Imam is absent or this ghaibat has been imposed on the Imam, it's because of that lack of support. There in that riwayat says that freedom of life is that initial right that you have, that I have to live freely. If I am behind bars, I am imposed some kind of a sanction, means that's against that freedom, that right I should be having. So why doesn't Imam, does he also not deserve that freedom? He does. But if he is free, he'll be killed. And so that he is not killed, Allah has put him behind that ghaibat that has been imposed upon him. And that ghaibat that is imposed upon the Imam is as a result of malfunctioning of our ancestors, whatever they did during their time, as a result of their actions or shortfall in their actions, Imams were killed one after the other, and Allah doesn't want this 12th Imam to be killed, and the reason for that is lack of support. We have to give that support to the Imam. In this Quran, we recited 30 days. It says, Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima. That Allah, we want to be with the Imam in the government of the Imam. To do what? It says, تُعِزُّ بِهَا الْإِسْلَامَ وَأَهْلَهُ. That is a government, a rule in which izzat and honor will be given to Islam and the Muslims. تُزِلُّ بِهَا النِّفَاقَ وَأَهْلَهُ. And defamation and zillat's disgrace will be given to kuffar and the munafiqeen. Now what do we do in that rule? Do nothing? Says no. Amr bil ma'roof, which is wajib on the Imam, is wajib on me. That is, I also invite people to the right path because the Imam does the same thing. Job description of the Imam is that should be my job description. So whatever Imam today Even today, it's the same thing. It isn't as such that Imam is sitting somewhere in his camp, in his tent, and doing nothing. There is a lot which is being done. We don't know, because we are so much drowned in our own day-to-day tasks. We don't get time to think about the Imam. Now, all this is being said to myself. That is, we have to think about the Imam. That is, what stress Imam is going through should be my pain. Because then that riwayah says that Rumayda is the reporter, and it is the rule of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam in Kufa, and Imam is the Jummah prayer leader. Rumayda, he was ill, he had temperature, fever for a few days. That Jummah, he was a little bit better. He says that the best thing that I can do on this Friday is go and say my Jummah prayers behind Amir al-Mu'mineen and listen to his khutbah. He got ready, performed the wuzu, comes and starts his prayers, sat in the khutbah, and amidst the khutbah, the fever, the temperature is back, and he starts shivering and shaking. Everyone left that masjid after the Jummah. The only one that was left behind is Rumayda, because he is ill. Imam comes and sees and says that, what's wrong, Rumayda? Why are you so pale? He says, I've been ill, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, and today I was a bit better. I said, I come to you and I offer my prayers behind you. Then Imam says that, Rumayda, by God, when one of you Shias is hit and hurt, we are hurt. When you fell down, we feel the pain. When you hurt yourself, we say ouch. That is, when you raise your hands, we say Ameen to your du'as. Not just random, it says every one person. One of the names that we have, the attributes of Allah, is Rahman and Rahim. That is, Rahman means merciful upon everyone. Rahim means also merciful, but specifically for the mu'mineen. Imams also carry these two attributes of Rahman and Rahim. One of the reporters, he says that during the time of Imam Jawad alayhi salam, a Christian says that Harun al-Rashid, he summoned him. Now, a ruler summoning his subjects, it's not good news. Says that definitely something is going to happen. So this Christian, he says that the moment I got summoned from this Khalifa, I vowed, I said, I performed a nazar, that these Shias, whenever they have a problem, they seek the Imams and some kind of a nazar they do. Now this Christian, he says that I also vowed an X amount of money I will give to the Imam if this problem of mine that is being summoned by Harun al-Rashid is put away. Now he says that generally people, they have this nazar, they say I'll do this, I'll do that, and once the problem is eased, they forget what they have to do. Now this Christian, what he did is that before the problem is eased, he comes to the Imam alayhi salam and gives that amount that he said he will be given when the problem is eased, and then comes and gives that money to the Imam. And as he was leaving, Imam from inside his room says that Christians, that is those who are not faithful to us, they think that we the Imams are only for the Shias. Imams, they are for everyone, faithful or faithless. Just like Allah Ta'ala is Rahman and Rahim, Ma'asumeen also are Rahman and Rahim. So the job description of Ma'asumeen is way beyond what we understand. So they have to take care of the faithful and the faithless. Those who have passed away, those who are living. And also those who are yet to come, they have to take care of that. So it's a huge big task on the Imams alayhi salam, and we also, when we say that we want to be with him, to try and do something that could lessen the burden that is on the Imam alayhi salam.
Now this is the Maghrib time, so we pray. Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, balantar salawat.